Hey, how's it going? Welcome to another video inside the media cabinet. My name is Joey, and thanks for joining me today. Welcome to my year in review, day 2. Yesterday, I did my 2021 year in review about all the 4Ks and Blu-rays that I got this year. So today, I'm going to showcase all the movie novelizations that I got for 2021. A huge shout out goes to the Paper Movies Novelization Book Club. If you like movies, if you like novels, definitely make sure to give them a check out. You can check them out on Facebook, Twitter, there's podcast, and the people that are in there are really awesome. Every month we pick out a new book to read, and at the end of the month we discuss it. So I want to thank two people, two of the big proprietors that helped, me get into this whole novelization book hunt and everything and book hunting, and that is Matthew and Adam. Matthew is in charge of his own channel. He's got a channel called The Geeks Attic, and Adam has his own channel as well. And I will post a link for the novelization Paper Movies Novelization Book Club in the description at the bottom. I want to thank Adam because most of these books that I got this year were from him, so I want to give a huge shout out to him, and again, just thank him for doing this for me. And with that being said, let's jump in and get started with this haul, I guess, for 2021. Starting with the official movie novelization, Warner Bros. Pictures and Legendary Pictures presents Pacific Rim from director Guillermo del Toro, story by Travis Beacham, screenplay by Travis Beacham, Guillermo del Toro, and novelization by Alex Irvine. Haven't read this yet, but I have seen the movie. Next, we go from giant creatures to He's Back, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, a novel by Randall Frakes, based on the screenplay by James Cameron and William Wisher. Love this movie, absolutely my number one favorite in the Terminator series. Yes, I even do like Dark Fate, and right now that is the only Terminator novel that I have in my collection. The original Terminator is kind of hard to find right now, but Rise of the Machines and Salvation are easy to come by and find. Next, we move on to a major motion picture from Universal Pictures and DreamWorks Pictures. We have Cowboys and Aliens, a novelization by Joan DeVinge, based on the screenplay by Roberto Orci and Alex Kurtzman, and Damon Lindelof and Mark Fergus and Hawk Ostby. Screen story by Mark Fergus and Hawk Ostby and Steve Osterk. Cowboys and Aliens. Next up, we have the world's most awesome crime fighter is about to meet his match. We have Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson in Batman, novelization by Craig Shaw Gardner, based on the story by Sam Hamm, and screenplay by Sam Hamm and Warren Sakin, and the character created by Bob Kane. Love the original Batman movies. Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, and George Clooney have all been awesome portrayers of the Caped Crusader, and one person to thank for like the live action Batman is Adam West. May he rest in peace. So to have this book in my collection is truly awesome. From original Batman to newer Batman, we go from based on the Warner Bros. Pictures film. We have Batman Begins, the start of the Dark Knight trilogy, novelization by Dennis O'Neil, based on the original screenplay by Christopher Nolan and David S. Goyer, story by David S. Goyer. Love these movies as well. Dark Knight is my favorite out of the entire series, because I love the Joker. And next, moving on, this author we actually have in the Paper Movies Novelization Book Club, and when I posted this book on the Facebook page, he actually reached out to me and he became friends with me and he commented. He's a really cool guy, and I keep in touch with him. And it is The Dark Knight Rises, based on the Warner Brothers picture film, novelization by Greg Cox, screenplay by Jonathan Nolan and Christopher Nolan, story by Christopher Nolan and David S. Goyer, based upon characters and appearing in comic books published by DC Comics. Batman created by Bob Kane. And from there we move on to our next set of books. We have from Marvel, we have the official prequel to the blockbuster video game, an original novel by New York Times bestselling author, an author who I think is also in our book club. We have the Avengers, The Extinction Key by Greg Keyes. Love the game. If you are interested in the game, I would say maybe read the book before you play the game, or play the book, or play the game and then read the book. Doesn't matter, whichever way you want to work it. Next we have the official movie novelization by Greg Keyes, based upon the screenplay by Eric Pearson and Max Borenstein, story by Terry Rosso and Michael Ducatny and Zach Shields. We have Godzilla vs. Kong. Love the movie, have not read the book yet because I'm finishing the one that I'm about to show you next before I read this one. And that is Godzilla, King of the Monsters, also by Greg Keyes, based upon the screenplay by Michael Ducatny and Zach Shields, story by Mac Borenstein and Michael Ducatny and Zach Shields, based on the characters Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan, owned and created by Toho Co. Ltd. Love the cover. Sorry, I hiccuped. Love the cover. Love the blue title and everything. Really good read so far. I'm really enjoying it. Kind of better than Kong Skull Island, written by John Gattens. Written by Tim LeBron. Story by John Gattens and Dan Gilroy. Screenplay by Dan Gilroy and Max Borenstein. Directed by Jordan Roberts. This book was long, and the movie is good. But I was waiting to finish this book so I could get to Godzilla King of the Monsters, because I want to read that so I can read Godzilla vs. Kong. But overall, good book. Next, we have now a major motion picture from New Line Cinemas. He's a superhero with a serious identity problem. A novelization by Steve Perry, based on a screenplay by Mike Werb, story by Michael Fallon and Mark Verheiden. We have The Mask. Love this movie. Love Jim Carrey in it. And of course, it's the first film with Cameron Diaz, so he's smoking. Next, we have one of my all-time favorite film series. The books are totally different and was hard to find these. We have Steven Spielberg presents a Robert Zemeckis film, a novel by George Geit based on a screenplay by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. We have Back to the Future. From Back to the Future, we go to Back to the Future Part 2. Steven Spielberg presents a Robert Zemeckis film, a novel by Craig Shaw Gardner, based on a screenplay by Bob Gale, story by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. What I love about this cover, and I know that there's an alternative where instead of white, it's blue, you got like some awesome scenes from the movie. And then, the story to end this trilogy, we have Steven Spielberg presents Back to the Future Part 3, a Robert Zemeckis film, a novel by Craig Shaw Gardner, based on a screenplay by Bob Gale, story by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale. Out of all three of them, my favorite one is Back to the Future Part 2, because I like that he goes to the future and everything, and of course the Flying DeLorean. Next, we move on to one that I have been trying to find. I wouldn't say it was hard for me to find, but it was kind of just random that I found it at a Barnes & Noble, and it is In Space, No One Can Hear You Scream, a novel by Alan Dean Foster, screenplay by Dan O'Bannon, story by Dan O'Bannon and Miles Husted. We have Alien. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this particular reprint coincides with the 35th anniversary of Alien. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's on the back of the book. So, haven't read it yet. Haven't even seen the movie. Next is a novel that some people were surprised got a novel. And when I posted this on the Paper Movies Novelization Book Club Facebook page, I didn't even know it had a novel until I looked it up. It's from the New York Times bestseller, now a major motion picture, Christmas with the Cranks, starring Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. By John Grisham, we have Skipping Christmas. Next, these two were the most hardest for me to find, and I'm thankful that I found them on eBay, both for a good price. We have from a novel by Jeffrey Cooper, based on the screenplays by Wes Craven, David Chacon, and Wes Craven and Bruce Wagner. We have The Nightmares on Elm Street, the continuing story, parts 1, 2, and 3, which features Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge, and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors. And then from 1, 2, and 3, we go to The Terror Continues with the complete blood-curdling story from Freddy's latest and glorious dream-stalking movies. We have The Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 and 5, Dream Master and the Dream Child, a novel by Joseph Locke based on the screenplays. Part 4 is written by William Kotzwinkle with the story, and Dream 5 is written by Leslie Bohem. These two were the most hardest for me to find, and I'm very thankful and lucky to have them in my collection. Next, by Brian Keelher, story by George Gattens, screenplay by George Gattens, story by George Gattens and John Gattens, based on the DreamWorks motion picture inspired by the hit EA video game series. We have Need for Speed. Yes, I know it was probably not one of the best movies, and there were some people that liked it, me being included. Thankful to have this book. I haven't read it yet. It's a long book for a mass market paperback. Then we move on to the official novelization of the film. Long ago, he made a deal to save someone he loved. A novelization by Greg Cox based on the screenplay and screen story and screenplay by Mark Steven Johnson. We have Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage. And I forget the actress. I really do. Alright, and now we come to the final stack of books. This has been a good video, and it's been awesome showcasing my books that I got this year. I got my first 3 books of 2022 coming very soon. Those of you that are part of the Novelization Paper Movies Book Club, you will know which books those are. So stick around for that. We have the major motion picture starring Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, the official novelization by Esther M. Fresner, based on the screenplay by Robert Gordon and Barry Fanaro, story by Robert Gordon. We have Men in Black 2. The Men in Black are back to save the planet from certain doom. You need to get the first one. That one's easy to find. And I also have Men in Black International. Next, for some people, these next 2 books were the most recent books to come out for 2021. If you were able to get them, cool. One of these books you probably already have, but just with a different cover. But that one's the next one. This is the first one. The official movie novelization by Tim Wagner. We have Halloween Kills. The official novelization of the highly anticipated horror movie. Based on the film written by Scott Teems and Danny McBride and David Gordon Green, based on characters created by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. Loved this movie. Haven't read this one just yet. It is up there. I got a whole bunch of books that I have to read and finish reading. Like, I have to finish reading. I haven't even finished reading Ready Player One. Like, that's how far back I am on reading. Next, this one is a lengthy one. Now a major motion picture, written by Frank Herbert. This is the mass market paperback film version, meaning the cover, of Dune. One of the monuments of modern science fiction. It is possible that Dune is even more relevant now when it was first published. So this is a thick mass market paperback. I can imagine this is what it is in mass market form. So I haven't even broken into this yet. 3 more left. Next, another one from Greg Cox, based on the motion picture screenplay. Story by David S. Goyer and Christopher Nolan. Screenplay by David S. Goyer, based upon Superman characters created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, and published by DC Entertainment by special arrangement with the Jerry Siegel family. We have Man of Steel. The adventure begins. And next up, another one that was hard for me to get due to the fact that I ordered it, it got canceled, and then I was lucky to find another one. The page has some cool, the book has some cool weathering. It's really it shows its age a little bit, but still good book. Can't wait to read it. We have, based on the Warner Brothers Pictures film, Novelization by Marv Wolfman. Screenplay by Michael DeContney and Dan Harris. Story by Brian Seeger and Michael DeContney and Dan Harris. We have Superman Returns. Sorry, I just had to do that. And then we have my final acquisition of 2021. This one I am very happy to have, because it just checks off how close I am to finishing, getting every single book in this trilogy. I just need Attack of the Clones, Rogue One, and The Last Jedi. Attack of the Clones. I almost said Clone Wars for a minute. Anyway, if you can try and figure out where I'm going with this, I am talking about the Star Wars trilogy, written by George Lucas, Donald F. Glut, and James Caan. This is a special edition that came out. This was a special anniversary edition that came out. That's why with this cover. This of course has Star Wars, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. So I have not read any of these